This is really a hopeless design. It's a massive twist of roots. Hi, I'm miltonchang of Bonsaiheirloom. My friend brought over 3 ficus tree that he wants me to work on. It all started with this one that he bought a long time ago, and there's this long branch coming out with these air rooted, and I thought it was sloping out of the design, out of shape, so I cut that off and put it into these 2 pots, and they all grew quite nicely. And these trees are growing in semi-shade, more or less morning sun, and you can see they're doing very well with not much care. And you can see he hardly fertilized it, and it's full of weeds. So I'll do a quick renovation for these 3 elms, ficus. This one I do the major work, whereas the other one I do some minor changes to adjust so you get them on their way to being a good bonsai, right? Oh, let me take it out of the pot. So you can see this tree is full of weeds, and he said he did not plant these intentionally in the bonsai. They certainly grew out of hand. So I will remove all the weeds first, and so I can see a little bit better of the roots. And then I'll comb it out later on to repot it, to cut off the roots on the side, and then repot it. You should never leave weeds alone too long, because once you let it go, then you can't get rid of them. I think these weeds the roots are so blended into the tree, there's no way for me to remove it quickly. So I'm just gonna cut them off for now, and then remove all the soil, wash off all the soil, and get to the roots, get rid of all the roots of the weeds, and then start over again. And ficus, you can do that fairly, deal with the roots quite aggressively, because they can grow easily from cuttings. So if you disturb the roots, it's not that big a deal. But look at all of that weed. So let me at least clean out to see where I'm going with it. Then again, like I said, I'm gonna take a hose. Right now I don't have a well because it's broke. But when the well's running, I'll take a hose with a bib and try to hose off everything and start over again. So here's the tree. You can see the roots are not bad in terms of the root structure for the design, the base of the bonsai, but it just got a lot of growth. So let me work from the top. That's the apex. There's not much of an angle, so one possibility is to tilt this up a bit. So I'll probably tilt it like this. So this is the apex, this comes down, that comes down. So let me go get something to prop it up. Okay, so this will be the apex, and this will come down, that will go down. So maybe I tilt it a little bit more this way. Okay. Again, I will hose all the soil off to nothing. Actually, I also have my root pruning here, so I can do that quite easily. Just getting rid of the redundant branches. I'm creating an apex. So this is the apex. Or maybe this is the apex, doesn't matter too much. I can be very aggressive with the cutting of the leaves, the branches off, because once I put some fertilizer in it, it will grow very, very, very vigorously, and it can become quite a larger tree very quickly. Ficus loves a lot of fertilizer and a lot of water. So you just got to feed them well. You can see this is the top. And this one branch, I will bend it down or wire it, but I tend to just bend it a little bit and it will stay put. And I can then wire it or guy wire it or pull it down or something later on. So this is, again, a real rough cut. And I think after 3 rough cuts, it will look nice. I'm just cutting off all the redundant branches so that the remaining branch will thicken to blend in, but then it will be at the right place and the right angle. Again, I can adjust the angle afterwards, but at the right place, I have to have the butt to start at the right place first. And I think this is, adds a little bit of interesting feature with the air roots coming down. It's not exactly artistic, but it's natural. There's so many growth branches coming out that you have plenty to choose from in terms of for your design. So that's a wonderful thing for trees like ficus that grow very fast. Now, given the interest in ficus is by and large on houseplants, because that's usually how they started. You buy a houseplant, they grow, and then you decided to make it into a bonsai. And so often question that I get is how do I keep a ficus bonsai in-house, indoor? And my general answer is that not really very well, because all trees, including ficus, would survive in the house, but really would not thrive. But on the other hand, if you want a little decorative piece in the house, why not, you know? So with that in mind then, this is pretty much the tree. It will grow out, this will come up, and then this comes down. And I'll cut this one off. So you can see the rough shape of it, which is not terrible. Nothing to write home about right now, but in a few years, this tree will grow up and this comes down and this comes out and this comes out. It will look, that's going to be too low. Maybe I'll likely to cut this off, but for now, I'll leave it alone. And then what I will do is that I'll put this root pruning cloth off. And what you can see is that there's some growth underneath the, I did it about 3 years ago, and that's how much it's grown. And all of this is fibrous roots, because when they went through this, they get cut. So it's very easy to hose it off and be done with it. And then putting the new soil can get rid of all the weeds. So repotting is not that difficult, although if he had maintained it well by not having weeds in it, then we probably don't even need to change pot, repot. So you can see the entire thing is fibrous roots. You can see this tree in a pot. I may even get rid of this because I don't think we need to distract with the air roots. Maybe keep one of those, like this is really out of shape. I think it would be a decent tree. So each year you work on it, you improve a little bit, and after 3 to 5 years, you have a decent bonsai. And that's, in this case, a decent trunk size, and it should look kind of nice. So the tree will be probably looking like this with that part exposed more, and this one coming down, or maybe just cut it off for now, because the side branch will come out, right? This branch will come out, and this one is a little bit out of place as well. So that's a tree, look at that. And I think this root is nice. Maybe I can, yeah, I don't think these two are necessary, but this is a nice feature. It looks kind of a weird with a triangle, so. Very distracting. But they were basically pieces that had air roots down, and I didn't want to throw them away, so I tried to made them grow. They really look ugly because the trunk is kind of out of scale. But let me try to see what I can do with it. So let me take it out of the pot first so I can see better. And you can see also a lot of weeds growing, but I will also wash out most of the dirt and start over again. So maybe one possibility is to do it upright, and this root's going in. Maybe I'll pull it out this way to give it a little bit more balance or get rid of it. Yeah, certainly there's no need for this. So let me so one possibility is to make this the apex, and then this come down as a lower branch. So that's what I would do. Well, my friend gave me carte blanche to do whatever I like with it, so I'm just cutting it all vigorously. I think it's important when you delegate, you have to delegate. You kind of like delegate and don't let go. That's very difficult for the guy that's doing the work. So in his case, he said, do whatever you like, do whatever you like. Okay, so I said, I'm doing whatever I like. So here's a tree. What I'll do is I'll plant it this way and somehow manipulate this root. And you can see this tree is coming up like this. And so it's a kind of bonsai. So that's a tree for now. And I'll show you again a year from now, the next step. Again, I think the bottom is kind of hard to salvage. That's why I'm going to just really nearly bury it. So maybe the soil level will be like this. And with this thing sticking out, pulling out a little bit, it won't look so bad. This tree is really kind of a hopeless. Look at this. It was cut off from the rest of the tree and then the roots. So one possibility, I don't know. One possibility is to accentuate this curve. You can see this kind of an interesting root, and this is kind of redundant. And then this is kind of a weird from here. They fuse together down there. So maybe one possibility is to cut this off and make that a. I don't really know what I can do with this tree. The only part that intrigues me is this curved root. So it's almost like, just to show you how drastic one can do to get ultimately where you want it to go, is to cut everything off. Just save this root, coming up maybe one of these branches, and then start over again. This is really a hopeless design. It's a massive twist of roots. One step at a time. Let me cut off what I think I can cut off, and the rest that I'm uncertain, I will save it, because this one, you know, comes all the way here, and there's some growth here, so I can maybe capitalize on this part. In fact, what I can do is give it back to him, make some suggestions, let him make some choices, and I do it again one of these days. But this is kind of too far gone. But I can definitely salvage this tree by taking advantage of this root, and hopefully something will root out here that could be a very unique looking bonsai someday. So yeah, it's possible I can take a reciprocal saw and cut it this way and that way, and that this one comes up and take one of these branches to go. Yeah, in fact, look, if I take this branch, just follow this line, come up here, and then it goes over here, and then, so this, you have a very long, interesting curve, and I just cut off the rest of it and it will heal over time. Again, it's gonna take time, but bonsai is a patient business. So that's my quickie 2, 3 ficus bonsai today. And the big bonsai and the next one, I'll give you an update in about a year. And you will see in 3 years, 2 or 3 years, it will become quite a nice bonsai. So with that in mind then, thank you very much for watching. Click like if you think I've been informative, and subscribe to our channel, and get on our mailing list for future announcements. So thank you very much. See you next week.